Cool, so let's get started in our usual Pilates alignment. All of you regulars know this one by now. Let's start with the feet, hip distance, soft knees, hips facing forward. Let's have that pelvis in neutral. So forward tilt and backward tilt. Find that point somewhere in the middle. Let's have that navel into the spine, which basically means suck the belly button in. Shoulders relax back and down. Chin parallel to the ground and a piece of string pulling you all the way tall to the ceiling. So we're standing nice and tall with our lovely new posture. As usual, go ahead, anything that feels like it's uneven, that you can see in your reflection, just go ahead and give it a tweak. As I always say, these little tweaks over time will help to make permanent positive changes to your posture. So from there, we're all standing nice and tall. I can see everyone's got great posture there. Perfect. Let's go into breathing and core engagement. These are always bits that are really, really crucial to Pilates. So even if they're a bit repetitive for my regulars, I always apologize, but they're really, really important for anyone new. And it's a good reinforcement for you regulars too. So let's have our hands on the lower ribs and we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose, all the way into the lower back. So in Pilates, we don't just breathe shallow into our chest, we're breathing laterally and we're breathing into our lower back and ribs. Take an inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And again, really nice deep inhale. Imagine that you're blowing up a balloon inside the body and exhale through the mouth like you're blowing out candles on a birthday cake. So inhaling, feel those fingers spread apart, and as you exhale, the fingers should slide back together. So let's do two more. Again. Perfect. Great. Let's add in core engagement. We're going to do 3 breaths and then we'll start doing all our little warm-up bits and pieces. So core engagement, 2 things that we're talking about. There's a lot more involved in core engagement. Pelvic floor, deep tummy muscles, also the muscles around the spine, that's involved too, but we're not going to talk too much about those for now. Let's start with the pelvic floor and that hammock in between the legs, pulling all the internal organs up to 100%. Release by a third. So you should be feeling this tight feeling here of a pelvic floor that's engaged. Leave it there, keep it nice and tight. Let's add in that corset, ties just under the chest to the tightest notch, pulling in. Again, 100% release by a third. Sounds very strange. Think up and in. And they're the 2 most important things I'm going to teach you. So keep that feeling of this whole area here, the powerhouse, nice and strong. Basically, an easy way to do that is try and keep the belly button sucked in, and that will naturally kind of help with the pelvic floor and deep tummy muscles too. Let's do 3 breaths there, and then we're going to move on. So take a nice inhale and exhale. This time, as we exhale, we're keeping those abs pulled in. Let's go again. Keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. Exhale. Last one. Okay. The breathing is also helping our lung capacity. The breathing is so important in Pilates. And also you'll find it weird when we're breathing in this way as opposed to how we normally breathe. So it's good to get more oxygen in. Let's do our little head and neck stretch here. So head rolling to one side, nice and slow, and then the other way. I always say it's a really, really nice thing to do a Pilates stretch in the morning to get you set up for the day. So let's pull the head away from the shoulder, take an inhale, exhale, look down. You're doing a different stretch now, pulling the head gently away, and then we'll do the other side. Let's go into shoulder rolls, forward and up to the ears and round. And reverse back. Okay, from there we're going to go into our arm scissor exercise for our scapula, so the back of the shoulders. So we're going to have one arm up, the other arm down. And then you're going to bring both to shoulder height with the arms out, palms facing down, and then switch. And then you're going to do the same, back to center, and then switch. Concentrate on what your upper back is doing. What does it feel like? And you can work on your breathing too here and your core engagement. So suck the belly in, exhale as you bring one arm up, inhale as you bring the arms back together. Keep their shoulders relaxed. As I always say, keep them down from the ears. It's easy to have our shoulders hunched up, but we want to keep them as relaxed as possible. Okay. Let's do one more to each side. Okay. And then just give the arm a little bit of a stretch. Forward. And again. Perfect. Okay. From there, let's go ahead and go into our balance. We'll do balance and then we'll do squats and we'll do a few other bits and pieces on the floor. So for our balance today, let's go into, we did this one on Monday, let's do it again. And this time, see if you can do the next progression of this exercise. So from here, standing up tall, we're going to bring one leg with a pointed toe, standing, keeping the supporting leg as straight as possible and hold. So if last time you were just up to here, go ahead and bring the leg up higher. Hold, using that core engagement. And if last time you were here, then this time, go ahead, once you've got your balance, and go into those gentle pulses. Very nice. Whichever level that you were at, go ahead and go into the next one. If you were already doing the pulses, bring that leg up even higher. Let's do two more and then we're going to switch. Okay. Perfect. Let's go on to the other leg, same thing. So strong supporting leg, straight knee, hold. Bring the leg up. And then let's go ahead. We won't stay here too long. Let's just do 5 little bounces on this supporting leg. Really, really keeping that tall posture, using that core engagement to help you. Perfect. Okay. The squat that we're going to do, in fact, let's keep our feet hip distance. We'll keep our feet hip distance today for our squat. And let's have the hands on the hips. Take an inhale. All you're going to do is gently sit low. Knees are slightly coming wide, but they're not going any further past the toes. So you're keeping a straight spine. Take an inhale when you're here. Exhale. Sit low as possible. You really want to start to feel your glutes and the outer thighs doing the work. Inhale. Exhale. Sit. Again. Let's do 3 more before we go into our lovely roll downs. Really sit low. If you've got bad knees here, just don't go down as far. Keep that belly button sucked in. Perfect. You give your hands and the ankles a little bit of a rotation just to make sure that they're nice and safe. And then let's start doing our enjoyable, lovely roll down. So into that same position we started, feet hip distance, shoulders back and down, and that string. Go ahead and take your roll down here. Nice deep inhale this time, because you're going to use the exhale to tuck the chin in. Slowly start to melt forward, hanging there loose. Floppy, keep the knees straight. Bad back, bend the knees, otherwise keep your legs straight. You don't need to come down all the way to the mat, just wherever feels good. But again, it's always one way you can challenge yourself. See how far today you want to roll down. Just hold it there. Move the arms around a little bit if you want. And then exhale, slowly start to make your way back up. Keep the chin tucked in, head comes up last. And let's do the same thing again in your own time. Inhale, exhale, tuck your chin in and slowly roll. Slowly coming back up. And then let's go into our full roll down. And then we're going to sit cross-legged and we'll do our rotations. So slowly starting to melt forward for the last time. And then this time, when you get all the way down, just bend the knees and slowly come into a cross-legged position. And let's start with our final rotation. So left hand on the right knee, the other hand behind. Go ahead and just have a nice twist and hold. And then switch. Let's do another one to each side. This time you're just going to twist a little bit further. So feel that spine having a nice gentle rotation, nice little twist. And then we'll do the other side. Again, this time you're twisting a little bit further. And then we're going to go into side bend. So let's do our side bend on kneeling today. Otherwise, if you have issues on your knees, then stay cross-legged. Otherwise, we're going to come into a kneeling position to do our side bend. So from here, go ahead and stretch. So make sure that you've got your correct posture here. You're not falling forwards or back. You're trapped between those two panes of glass. You're still using that tight core engagement here, but you should be feeling a lovely stretch on the side of the body. And then we're going to switch sides. As I said, if this is too much, stay in the cross-legged position. And then let's do one more to each side. And last one. Okay. While we're in this position, I'm going to ask you to do a little back bend. So this is a bit of a mean exercise because it's quite hard going on the thighs. So this exercise, we're really using the thighs, the glutes, and the abs. Again, if it's too much, you can do the same thing sitting here, and you can do either this one, or you can just have your, you can be cross-legged, and you can just open up the chest, tilt the head back. Otherwise, if you're on your knees, get your core engagement ready first, so suck the belly button in, squeeze the abs, squeeze the glutes. Think about the thighs, so it's the thighs here, not the lower back doing anything. Then when you're ready, you're going to take an inhale, exhale, get the thighs engaged, and slowly just start to tilt back. If you want to, grab the heels, open out the chest, tilt the head back, and hold. It should feel fairly comfortable in a weird kind of way. Otherwise, if that's too much, then from here, you're just tilting back and holding where it feels comfortable. And remember, think thighs. Your thighs are what are taking on the work here. And then you can release back to an upright position. Let's do one more and hold. So either here, otherwise you can be here. Different options for you, or cross-legged, open out the chest. And just take a couple of breaths in whichever position you're in. And then we're going to do, let's do our all fours exercises first. Let's start off with a gentle cat stretch. And then we're going to do another exercise in all fours. So from here, let's go into this position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees under hips, prop up the toes, belly button sucked in, crown of the head forward, take an inhale. On the inhale, go ahead and arch. And exhale, reverse. And again, inhaling as you arch. Exhale, reverse. Let's do 3 more like this. So really, really arch on the inhale. When you're exhaling, you're reversing, sticking the head out and just doing the complete opposite of the arch. Let's do our last 2. And our last 1. Okay. So just one more exercise in this position, and then we're going to do our tabletop exercises. So from here, all we're going to do is we're going to do Superman. So if you remember this one, and again, I will give you levels. So our basic Superman in this position, you're going to have the abs engaged, navel into the spine. Opposite hand and opposite leg are going to drag across the mat. And then you're going to raise them up, crashing into something. So from here to here and hold. If you want to challenge yourself, bring the leg up higher. So really, really suck that belly button in. You're using the abs here. And then you're going to move, if you want to, the arm to one side and the leg to the other side. Back to center and then down, and then we're going to switch. So you can stay at whichever level you feel comfortable with your balance. This is a really, really great exercise for balance. If it's too much to lift the hand and foot, keep them here. Otherwise, lift them here. Otherwise, bring the leg up slightly higher than the lower back. And then you're going to bring the left arm to the left, the right leg to the right. So whichever level you're doing there, keep going. And you're going to alternate the arm and leg. So this is really, really great for shoulder stability, for hip stability, for body awareness and balance. And it's one of those exercises that kind of looks easy, but as you know with Pilates by now, when you're doing it properly, it can get a little bit harder. So really, really focus on that balance. When you're holding the arm and leg up, the hips are not moving, nothing's moving, and you're nice and aligned. Think about alignment. Very nice. You can see everyone doing a really fab job. Lovely. Great work going on there. Keep going. Oh, well done, everyone. Let's do 3 more to each side, and we're going to move into tabletop. I've got some wonderful exercises for you. Okay, cool. So when you've done your last one, come straight into tabletop. So lower spine flat on the mat. Let's have our palms facing down. Knees above the hips. Feet slightly higher and the feet are hip distance. We're going to start with our toe taps. So let's do a double toe tap. And if you remember this one, we're not bringing the feet all the way down. So engage that core, the abs drawn together as you exhale. You're bringing the toes down, both of them, but they're hovering a couple of inches from the ground and then back to tabletop, so nice and controlled. Inhale as the legs come back into tabletop, exhale as they come down. Hold. Remember your Pilates breathing, inhaling through your nose. Exhale, you're using the abs to gently lower the toes. Really slow and controlled. Almost the slower you do it, the harder it is. So you're not using the momentum here. Be really, really wary of that. And make sure the toes are pointed. So you don't have flexed feet, you've got pointed toes, and it's like the toes are about to tap the mat. Let's do 4 more. Really squeeze those abs as you start to do that lowering of the legs. Let's go into our last 3. Make sure the lower spine stays flat as well on the back, so you're really pressing that lower back into the mat. It's not raising up. And then go ahead, and when you've done your last one, hug the knees, roll them one way around the chest and then the other. Give your lower back a bit of love. And then we're going to go into the next exercise. So if you remember this one, regulars, head and neck are down. You're going to have your legs in tabletop, hands pressed against the thighs. So lower spine really, really pushing into the mat. Take an inhale, exhale, squeeze the hands against the thighs, and you're pushing the hands against the thighs and the thighs against the hands at the same time in this position. Just hold and breathe and keep creating that tension between the two, that resistance, and feel that pull on the abs here. And just breathe and hold. And keep pushing hands and thighs against each other. Keep breathing, keep pushing the lower back into the mat as well. As easy as this looks, it starts to get a little bit hard. Yeah. Hold the knees, you can just hug the knees for a second and let's go into one more round. Take a nice deep inhale, exhale, let's do the same again. Breathe. Okay. Last thing we're going to do in tabletop before we move over to the side, we're going to do our one leg stretch. So again, I'll give you options. You're going to come into, ideally what you're going to do is come into this sort of crunch. You're going to hug one knee, but you're not bringing it all the way into the chest. The other leg is going to be extended and long, and you're switching. So you're in this sort of, like you're doing a crunch, really using those abs here, keep going, extend, pull one knee in as the other leg extends with a pointed toe, keeping the legs really nice and long. Keep breathing. If it's too much for your head and neck, you can do the same thing with your head and neck down. And just make sure that you're really extending, or you can have a pillow underneath your head and neck. Just really make sure that you're extending your legs long and almost at an angle if you're doing it with the head and neck down. Otherwise, keep going, keep breathing. Perfect, really, really nice. Keep that crunch position, really make sure that you're not starting to fall down and it's not hurting the neck because you're really using your abs. Give me 3 more on each side and then we're going to move on. Okay. Hopefully you're just finishing up there now. Slowly you're going to turn onto your side. We're going to do one last mean exercise before we start to do some lovely cool down stretches. So let's turn onto the side. Get comfortable. As I always say, hips stacked on top of each other. Legs are nice and long. Navel into the spine so we're in this position. If you want to have your head on your arm outstretched, you can. Otherwise, I like to prop my head up on my hand like this. You're going to have that core engagement up and in. Bring that leg up to hip height. And let's start with our sideline leg circles. We're going to do 8 in one direction and 8 in the other. So keep the leg long. Using the top of the leg all the way from the top of the thigh bone, you're stirring that leg. Keep that toe pointed. And imagine that you're drawing something, a circle on the wall in front with a paintbrush on your big toe. So feel the glute and the outer thigh doing the work here. Keep that belly button sucked in. Keep everything else from moving, just the leg. Really slow and controlled and precise. Precision and control to Pilates principles that are really, really key. So keep that toe pointed. We want to be really, really nice and controlled. When you've done your 8 in one direction, go ahead and do your 8 in the other. And just think to yourself, when the legs start to get heavy, don't worry, this is the last little bit before we do some lovely, nice stretches. This is a bit of a mean exercise. It looks easy, but it's really hard going. Okay, when you've done your 8 each way, bring that leg forward. So just bring that leg from here to here, and let's use this dead leg and let's do 8 lift and lowers of that lower leg. So 1, keep that toe pointed. And again, you're using the leg, all of the leg from the top of the hip. To our last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Nearly there, guys. Perfect. Before we move over to the other side and do the same, let's do our little transitional stretch. You've got on your forearms, you can just tilt the head back, back extension, really, really great exercise for the lower back. And it's relaxing, so you can breathe as well. Concentrate on the breath as you inhale through the nose, into the lower back, exhale. I could stay in this position forever. It's really, really relaxing. If you want to challenge yourself, you can always bring the hips up off the mat, but you don't need to. This is nice enough. Just make sure the head is tilted back and you feel that little pull on the lower back. Just putting all the discs and everything in place. And let's switch. Let's do the same thing that we just did. 8 sideline leg circles one way, 8 the other, and then we're going to do lift and lower of our leg that's on the mat. And then we'll do a nice stretch. So let's go, guys. Prop yourself up. Hips are stacked, navel into the spine. Let's go. Leg up to hip height. Slow circles with top of the leg stirring that fiber and keep that toe pointed. Nice and gently, nice and slow. Feel the glute doing the work. Squeeze the glute if you want to. Squeeze the abs. It does help. So really imagine that you're engaging abs and glutes. Nice and controlled, and then let's do 1. Lovely. When you've done both sides, again, bring that front leg over, and let's lift and lower this from the top of all the way from the top of the leg. So we're not using just from the knee, we're doing the whole leg. And we're going to do 8. This is our final little stretch, and then we're going to come onto the back. Perfect. Well done, everyone. You can come onto your back. Let's do our number 4 hip flexors and then stretch before we do a nice posture check. So on your back now, let's have the ankle over the knee and pull that leg in and hold. As I always say, pull that thigh in even closer towards you. You'll feel a deeper stretch. Now the great one for the lower back and sciatica, if you have ever had the misfortune of having that. Breathe into it. Pull that leg closer. Try and push your flexibility every time. And then let's switch. This one can get a little bit uncomfortable, but it's a kind of good uncomfortable. So hopefully you can see the good it's doing for your body. Just pull that leg closer. Breathe. The more you exhale, you inhale and exhale, you can pull the leg in closer on the exhale, and it helps. And then soles of the feet together for our final hip flexor stretch. Hand on either knee, take an inhale. Let the belly rise up with air. Exhale, push those knees down and wide to the mat, stretching out the hip flexor and groin area, and just breathe. Again, with each exhale. Pushing those heavy weights on either knee all the way down to the mat. Let's go into our last one. Inhale. Exhale, push the knees down for the final time. Really imagining the knees are touching the mat. How flexible can you be here? Just let yourself go. And then finally, let the legs just fall forward. So straighten the legs, feet fall either side, palms facing up. Eyes are closed now. Tilt the head backwards, open the jaw, open the mouth, relax the jaw. Face is totally relaxed. Shoulders are away from the ears, they're down. They're pressing into the mat. Be really, really conscious of that feeling. That heels on the mat. Just imagine this heavy body sinking into the mat, grounding ourselves. Feeling nice and stretched. To go ahead and stretch the legs even more if you can, if you want to flex the feet and then straighten. Just focusing on that nice feeling. Let's breathe in through the nose. Getting all that oxygen in. Feeling really healthy, feeling good and motivated. Everyone who's done 2 classes, maybe you've done some other classes this week. Maybe you're going to. You're doing such a great job. You're going to have a great day now that you've got your exercise out of the way. And you're making all these new habits, doing online classes, such a fantastic thing. Keep going. Let's give the fingers and toes a wiggle as we start to come back to our senses, and let's slowly turn to one side. Come to sitting. And then come to standing. Let's do our posture check and see what our alignment's saying before we all go back to our working day. So I'll give you a second to go back to normal, and then let's go feet, knees slightly bent, hips forward, pelvis in neutral, forward, backward tilt, midway point. Suck the belly button in, shoulders back and down, chin, piece of strength. So we're standing really, really nice and tall with that lovely new posture. Just have a look at your reflection, feeling good. Let's do our heel raises, hands on the hips. The one thing that I will leave you with, up and in, up to the pelvic floor, in with the deep tummy muscles, suck the belly button in. Let's go into those heel raises, up onto the toes. That string is pulling you even further to the ceiling, nice and tall, that lovely straight spine, lower the heels. Let's do another one. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. This time we're going to hold it, stay on the toes, suck the belly button in, really using this new posture and core engagement to stand tall, keep the head still. You're not moving the head, we're just lowering the heels. You're going to feel your calves, hamstrings, and spine stretching nice and long. Feeling nice and tall. Good posture, good lower back, everything. Making everything shake. Anything you need to shake out and roll. And you're good. Thank you so much for joining. You've done such a great thing for your body, great for the bones, great for your muscles, great for your joints, great for your breathing. So well done, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will be back on Monday at 7:30 for all you early risers who are up at that time. Well done.